Life is full of great mysteries, like who was DB Cooper and where did he go? What exactly is the US government hiding in Area 51? And where did I put my bloody car keys? Questions like these may never be satisfactorily solved, but real-life mysteries aren't the only ones keeping internet sleuths and conspiracy crackpots up at night. No, the world of video games is filled with just as many bizarre brain teasers, odd objects, and puzzling peculiarities just begging to be unraveled. While internet forums and Reddit threads more complex than any red string conspiracy corkboard have deduced their way to the bottom of many of the mysteries developers have left hidden in their games, there are plenty out there that remain unsolved. Whether it's because they're too mind-bendingly complex, the developers are deliberately withholding a vital clue, or it's all secretly one big joke, these mysteries are no closer to being solved than when their games first released. And in some cases, I'm talking literal decades. I'm the enigmatic Peter from TripleJump, and here are the 10 biggest unsolved mysteries in video games. Number 10. Mount Chiliad, Grand Theft Auto 5. We're starting off with one of the most famous unsolved mysteries out there, Grand Theft Auto 5's peculiar Mount Chiliad mural. Hike, drive, or cable car up to the top of San Andreas' famous peak, and players might spot this perplexing painting of what appears to be Mount Chiliad itself, along with a series of tunnels underneath leading to a UFO, an alien egg, and a jetpack. All of this led players to believe there was a secret mission somewhere that would reward them with said jetpack. Unfortunately, despite almost 10 years worth of collaboration and experimentation involving laying the mural over the in-game map and messing around with the strange UFOs which are only visible after 100% completing the game, we're still no closer to solving the mystery. At this point, it might be fair to assume that the mural once tied into the long-rumoured single-player DLC that never saw the light of day, and may have been reworked into the GTA Online mission, the Doomsday Heist Act 3, which involves flying a jetpack after battling through tunnels beneath the mountain. If that's the case, then it's a bit of a disappointing end to such an enduring mystery, but who knows, maybe GTA 6 will hold the true answer. Fingers crossed. Number 9. Black Monolith, Fez. Oh, what's this? A wildcard entry? Oh, what fun! Yes, just like Schrodinger's video game mystery, Fez's Black Monolith puzzle is simultaneously both solved and unsolved. But how, I hear you cry? Well, just sit back and let Uncle Peter explain. Oh, I don't like that. I'll never call myself that again. Fez, a charming pixel art puzzler that sees players flipping the world along the Z-axis to find solutions, is chock-a-block with secrets. The most secret of these secrets revolve around 4 elusive red cubes, which can only be obtained after inputting highly specific button combinations while standing in pixel-perfect spots. How do you uncover these button combinations? Well, that varies. The telescopic room red cube combination, for example, can be deduced by looking through the telescope at 2 flashing stars, figuring out the stars are flashing in binary code, breaking the code into bytes, then converting them into hexadecimal, and then ASCII. You know, simple stuff. Well, 3 of the 4 conundrums were eventually figured out, leaving only the Black Monolith red cube remaining. However, solving this one proved downright impossible. No one even knew where to begin, and so the community resorted to brute forcing the solution. After months of trial and error, the location and combination were eventually found, and the last cube uncovered. But how anyone was supposed to figure it all out organically, well, that remains a mystery. Number 8. Gavin, Red Dead Redemption 2. As you may have already surmised, Rockstar love hiding a good mystery or two in their sprawling open worlds, and Red Dead Redemption 2's expansive wilderness is hiding more than its fair share. From serial killers to witches' huts and time travelers to wolfmen, it seems every square inch of the map is home to something strange. Most of these oddities are at least given some explanation, be that a journal entry or a crumpled letter, but there is one one that still leaves players scratching their heads to this day. Where is Gavin? While exploring the Wild West's open countryside and sparse towns, players will more than likely bump into an Englishman named Nigel. He's easy to spot with his smart blue suit, yellow waistcoat and boater hat. That and the fact that he simply will not stop hollering after Gavin. It seems that Nigel has lost his friend and will not rest until they're reunited. The only problem is, Gavin doesn't seem to exist anywhere. Did he ever exist? Was he part of a cut mission? Are he and Nigel the same person? Fans have many theories, but no answers. Players can even find Nigel in the epilogue, disheveled, losing his grip of reality, and still no closer to locating Gavin. Just like the rest of us, then. Number 7. Karazhan Forgotten Crypt, World of Warcraft. While slaying orcs and monsters may not exactly be fun for all the family, World of Warcraft's cartoonish visuals and less than realistic depictions of violence mean players 12 and up can lose themselves for hours or even days on end as they explore the varied lands of Azeroth. That might not have been the case, however, if the Karazhan Forgotten Crypt ever saw the light of day. Buried deep below the Tower of Karazhan in the cemetery at Morgan's Plot, and only accessible in early versions of the game via a glitch, Karazhan Forgotten Crypt is a cavernous hidden labyrinth filled with sand and bones. Venture deeper, however, and players will stumble upon a flooded chamber. This has become known as the Chamber of Upside-Down Sinners due to the fact that lurking beneath the dark waters are dozens of human corpses chained up and hanging upside down. Cheery stuff. But why does this place exist? Was it a quest that was cut so as not to offend ratings boards and push up the game's age limit? Possibly, but then why was the area opened up as part of a treasure hunt quest in a later patch? Will we ever know the truth behind the Forgotten Crypt? Do we even want to know? Perhaps some mysteries are best left unsolved. Number 6. Desert Rings, Shadow of the Colossus. In the almost 2 decades since the game came out, Shadow of the Colossus fans have pored over every pixel, dissected every texture, translated every file name, and delved into every version of the game out there, all to uncover every last secret this classic masterpiece has to offer. But why? Well, partly to show their appreciation for such a beautiful game, but also because rumours persist. Rumours of secret items, inaccessible areas, and even hidden colossi. Early concepts saw the player hunting down a whopping 48 colossi, but due to limitations, this number was reduced to the final 16. Assets belonging to some of the cut colossi have been uncovered, and this has led to theories that a 17th colossus was lurking somewhere just out of reach. One of these theories revolved around a set of strange, partially submerged rings jutting out of the desert sands. Due to the fact the game is so empty, it was assumed that anything that was placed in the world was there for a reason. Only the reason for these rings was never found. Are they part of some larger structure? Shackles for a missing, towering colossus? And why do they share a model with rings from Eco? To be honest, and bear with me on this, they're probably just part of the scenery. But that's not as exciting, is it? Number 5. Mysterious Stranger, Fallout. The irradiated wastes vault dwellers call home are overflowing with hazards, mutated enemies, and mysteries. These include the true goals of peculiar Lovecraftian cults, what happened to the world outside of the US, and whatever the heck is going on with all those aliens. But there's one above the rest that leaves players rubbing their chins, one with the very word mysterious baked into its very name. Who is the mysterious stranger? Appearing in almost every game in the franchise, the mysterious stranger started life as a black tack vest wearing mercenary, and then evolved into the trench coat wearing noir detective we know and love. He'll appear at random, blast an enemy to smithereens, and then be gone with the wind. Very few NPCs will even acknowledge his existence, which only adds to the mystery. Why does he help you out? How can he teleport around so quickly? Is he even human? The Fallout wiki isn't certain, instead referring to him as human-appearing. Lovable synth detective Nick Valentine has a file on him, but he hasn't found out anything conclusive either. According to his notes, the mysterious stranger is best case an amoral lunatic, worst case a prolific serial killer. But honestly, that just sounds like every character I play as in Fallout. Number 4. L is Real 2401, Super Mario 64. Now for a mystery that's been perplexing fans and internet sleuths for almost 3 decades. A blurry message scrawled along a statue of a power star in the courtyard behind Princess Peach's castle in Super Mario 64. And what does that message say? Well, even that is up for debate, actually. Some believe it says Eternal Star, which makes sense, but others hold firm that it says L is Real 2401, which makes less sense. Of the two, L is Real 2401 is by far the most intriguing, and has spawned a conspiracy theory that has stood the test of time. Does the L stand for Luigi? This question took the gaming community by storm and saw everyone and their mothers convinced that the lanky green plumber was hiding somewhere in the code, just waiting to be released. So did 2401 represent a way to unlock him? Was it the total number of coins players needed to collect? Or maybe the number of laps they had to run around the statue, or even the castle itself? Fans tried everything and got nowhere. The spooky thing is though, a model of Luigi does indeed appear in the game's files, and was found when the source code was leaked online on July the 25th, 2020, 24 years and 1 month after the game was first released. 2401. As far as coincidences go, that's a little too weird for my liking. Number 3. G-Man, Half-Life. Revolutionizing storytelling in games, the Half-Life series certainly made its mark on the wider gaming community and media as a whole. Despite not releasing another installment since 2007, unless you count 2020's Half-Life Alyx, the series has never been far from players' lips. This is partly due to the enduring unanswered questions Episode 2's surprise cliffhanger ending left. Questions like, what exactly are the Combine? What was aboard the mysterious Borealis ship? And will we ever see a Half-Life 3? Perhaps the biggest mystery, though, is who or what is the G-Man? Referred to by some as a sinister interdimensional bureaucrat, this sharp-suited, sharp-featured man, if he even is a man, can be seen lurking in almost every game in the series, taunting both Gordon and the player with cryptic messages or watching their every move from afar. With his cold, staring eyes and stilted, erratic speech patterns, he could very well be an alien imitating human form, and with what little we know about him, that theory is as good as any other. We don't even know what his ultimate goals are. But he isn't working alone. Every move he makes is at the behest of his even more enigmatic employers. We've got to assume that all will be revealed in Half-Life 3. And we've also got to assume that Half-Life 3 will actually happen eventually. Any day now, Valve. Number 2. The Scavenger Hunt, Trials Evolution. Oh hello, another wildcard entry! Well, kind of. You see, the insanely complex and globe-spanning scavenger hunt ARG, or alternate reality game hidden inside Trials Evolution, has technically been solved. The only problem is, its final secret won't be revealed until the year 2113. That's over a century after the game was first released, meaning many of us won't be around to see it, including the developers themselves. Trials Evolution is ostensibly a game where players ride motorbikes across increasingly tricky platforming challenges, but hidden below the surface is something much bigger. It all started when players noticed strings of text written on random wooden boards on different levels. was. Putting these all together spelt out a coded message that, when deciphered, instructed players to perform a specific maneuver which would in turn unlock a song. This was but the first step in an internet and country-spanning quest that involved cryptic images, puzzles, and buried caches in Helsinki, San Francisco, Sydney, and Bath. All of which eventually led to 5 keys and the phrase, "Midday in the year 2113, first Saturday in August, one of 5 keys will open the box underneath the Eiffel Tower." But what's waiting in that box? Gold? The secret to world peace? A copy of Trials Evolution 2? Only time will tell. And number 1, FF06B5, Cyberpunk 2077. Even with its rocky launch, Cyberpunk 2077 has never been short of fans ready and willing to dissect every Easter egg and secret hidden in its dystopian world. But despite an influx of players after the Phantom Liberty expansion, there's still one mystery no one can seem to solve. It all started with a prominent yet peculiar statue in Corpo Plaza, a statue of some robotic entity holding up a sword, the plinth of which is emblazoned with the code FF06B5. While it may seem like nonsense to some, to others it was only the beginning. This string happens to be the HTML hex code for the colour Shocking Pink, and it's around this colour that most theories have formed. Funnily enough, there are plenty of other robotic statues hidden around Night City holding shocking pink orbs, leading many to think it's all related. Things got even weirder though when a mysterious mural was discovered in the next-gen update for The Witcher 3, an entirely different game. The mural had a shocking pink centre, which seemed to tie in to the whole mystery. The only problem is, despite FF06B5 being confirmed as a real puzzle by the developers themselves, no one is any closer to discovering what it could possibly mean. But maybe you could be the one.